Imagine sitting alone in a dark room, staring at the glare of a video call, convinced you are moments away from prison. Criminals use fake warrants and counterfeit police badges to create a severe psychological pressure cooker, terrifying victims into emptying their bank accounts. Historically, these operations succeeded because the scammers exploited the blind spots in the system. They operated in the silent gaps between messaging platforms, telecom networks, and local banks, allowing their attacks to slip right through. That fragmentation allowed the fraud to scale. The turning point arrived when the Supreme Court of India stepped in, demanding accountability and a unified response from federal agencies. In response, the Ministry of Home Affairs, through the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, or I4C, submitted a detailed status report. It reveals a massive, coordinated crackdown targeting every stage of the cyber fraud lifecycle. The I4C now functions as a central switchboard, synchronizing bank freezes, telecom SIM blocks, and platform bans into a single cohesive response designed to intercept fraudulent activity at each layer of the infrastructure. Every digital arrest kill chain begins with a single message or phone call. That places the immediate burden of defense squarely on the messaging platforms. Facing direct concerns from the I4C and telecom regulators, WhatsApp launched a specialized investigation in January 2026 to track down the networks initiating these scams. This chart tracks the impact of that platform-level response. You can see a massive spike in early 2026, where the investigation successfully identified and banned roughly 9,400 accounts tied to these scam networks. They are also changing the software interface. The platform will now automatically hide the profile pictures of suspicious callers who try to use police or government logos to look official. Additionally, they are planning proactive alerts to clearly warn users anytime an incoming call originates from a newly created account. By stripping away the fake badges and flagging new numbers, these interventions neutralize the scammer's primary weapon, the psychological illusion of state authority. When messaging accounts are banned, scammers pivot. They rely on vast networks of unregulated burner SIM cards to maintain contact with victims. To cut off that backup plan, the Department of Telecommunications, the DOT, and network providers are deploying a rapid response blocking system. The mandate requires telecom companies to block suspicious SIM cards within just 2 to 3 hours of their identification. Authorities are also looking ahead. By December 2026, the DOT has been asked to implement a biometric identity verification system, which will monitor SIM network activity in real time. Reducing the operational lifespan of a fraudulent SIM card to mere hours directly starves the massive call centers driving these operations. If a scammer bypasses the messaging filters and the telecom blocks, their ultimate goal is laundering the stolen funds through the banking system. To address this, the Reserve Bank of India has prepared new standard operating procedures. These SOPs empower local banks to instantly, temporarily freeze transactions linked to cyber fraud. And for the syndicates orchestrating these crimes, the Central Bureau of Investigation is stepping in. This graphic illustrates the new enforcement jurisdiction. The CBI has fixed a 10 crore rupee threshold for taking over digital arrest investigations. They have already re-registered major fraud cases, including a massive cheating case in Delhi valued at 22.92 crore. Shifting enforcement to the CBI elevates a digital scam into a high-stakes federal crime, placing the syndicate bosses directly in the crosshairs. The status report details a concrete shift in Indian cyber defense. Authorities have abandoned reactive policing in favor of systemic disruption. Looking back at our initial diagram, the Supreme Court's mandate has finally caused these isolated sectors to lock together. Messaging, telecom, and banking are now forced to communicate, creating overlapping defensive rings. For international scam rings, the speed of these blocks changes the math. Every ban and every frozen transaction removes the tools they need to operate, forcing them to constantly cycle through new infrastructure. But this multi-layered grid still requires your participation. You are the informed first line of defense. The government can sever the technical links of a digital arrest, but only an educated public that ignores fake badges and newly created accounts can break the psychological chain.